Hello everyone, I'm doing part 2 of this World KOF Cup as I've gotten some input from Commando Black Noah, and I want to share it with you guys. So again, I'm going to put something up, let you guys talk about it, and give me suggestions, and we're going to go from there. Thanks for the replies and responses. We're just going to continue to do this until we have the final product, which may take some time to shape the final product. That's why I have a tentative launch date 2013, and that'll be a launch date for the qualifiers. Because I gotta have to plant the seeds ahead of time, prior to any of that happening. I'm gonna read this, and I want to show you the modified planning document based off what I've read this, because I think they're good things. This is the KOF World Cup. What he says, some suggestions to ponder. What he has regions. Now y'all can see this because it says regions that can be changed based on the community's feedback, which means a bunch of things, and he gets into that, which I think is really good. These are the regions he has, as far as stuff to be covered. And South America plus Central America, United States, Canada, Europe, with France for holding qualifiers, Russia, Turkey, China, Korea, Japan, Australia, Africa, Middle East. And he was thinking about Pakistan because they play a lot of KOF, and I know they do too. That's why I included them as one of my as a country in my region. But anyone else, I want them to go as well. And as far as interest for that, I remember the guy saying the people from Canada wouldn't go to Mexico. Well, I'm going to have to side with what Desmond has said, but I do not believe the United States deserves a regional qualifier for King of Fighters. Not enough interest. The level of play is not strong. The support is not strong. It's just I do not believe the United States will be a good place for a regional qualifier for that reason. I mean, this is not Street Fighter. It's just King of Fighters. So I don't believe the United States has earned that right to have the qualifier when the country right below them has earned that right to have a regional qualifier, which is Mexico. So, I might do a last chance qualifier, and even then, I don't know if I want to do anything like that in the United States, because as you can see, you're going to see in what this guy's talking about. For the first one, for sure, the thing is going to be more quality over quantity. It's going to be quality over quantity. So I'm looking for a quality of player over a quantity for the first time. So I'm not so sure if the United States would even be in the realm of discussion for that particular thing. I'll have to gather more information on Canada, Europe. We've got a couple things covered. Russia, I think that's a region with China. Turkey, I want that in that region. Korea, it's in one region. Japan's in another region. Japan and Korea in the same region. And as a guy says, what about North Korea? Why? Well, guys, what's to separate North Korea from in your point of view from wars? When you've got two countries that are both, we all know, everyone knows their political struggles. But for all you never know. There might be players there just as good as the ones in war as Mexico. And so why not give them a chance? And that's how I look at it. Why not give them a chance? For all this promotion I've been doing the wars, it's like these people would have probably never known about them. They would have only known about Esteban and some of the famous players. They wouldn't have known about Ismael or Zeus or some of these other guys had I not stepped in and brought them to, gave them a spotlight that I felt they deserved. You may not have known about K999 or some of these other people because, you would not have known about it, but now you guys do. So, that's my point. These people deserve the spotlight. They deserve the chance, so just give them the chance and see how things go. If they deserve the spotlight, they'll earn it and they'll keep it, So, Australia, I'm trying to determine what region would that be probably best for, Australia would be for. Africa, I have that covered in Middle East, like I say with Pakistan. That's one particular region, but those are regions. And he says, look at this, 4 players per region in the final. Total of 48 players in the final. That means only taking the top players, the winners, the champions, only taking the champions per region, per game, into the final, the actual World KOF Cup. And why he says he chooses 4? Because this is the first edition, and there will be a lot of costs for traveling and visas, accommodation, etc. Now, it'd be nice to take top 3 from each game, but for right now, that'd probably be too much money, which is, true. We're taking a conservative approach. You can always build on something. We gotta have a basis, a fundamental first. After that, we can always expand or build upon it. But okay, it says, I am sure that a big part of these costs can be covered with the entry fee for the qualifications. And this is a final, and I think it's better to choose quality over quantity, which I agree. For the final, quality over quantity. All games to the finals will be first to 5. The final will be first to 10. I agree, because when you're limited and get to a certain amount of people, then, you can have them all played out to a certain degree. Even the first round, first to 5. That way we know who wins. We're sure, because when you get to that point, you know, you want to know who's the better player. So you make them all play first to fives. I agree with that. I agree. What I mean, you know, once again, I'm posting it up because what do you guys think? Because I'm already starting to implement a lot of these things into the play because I think it's very good. Because he's thought this stuff out thoroughly, and that's what I like. It says the countries. Here we go. Other stuff. The countries/cities hosting the qualifications will be established based on the feedback of the players. But for the most part, it should be a city/country located in the center so people can get there easily. Like you say, you know, Mexico is big. So, you know, it's kind of the center between, we're looking between Canada and I guess Greenland or whatever, Iceland, or I can't remember what it was up there. Canada and all the way down to, you know, the end of Central America. You know, ending at like Panama, stuff like that. So that's what we're looking at. Those countries. Mexico's kind of the center, and Mexico is the heart of KOF for now in that particular area. They have earned their right to get a host, a regional tournament. They have earned the right. So that it's going to be in Mexico. And so it says in, you know, and it has to be established on the feedback of the players. And I mean, as I say, the feedback, you're already seeing some of the feedback, and there's going to be more. The United States does not deserve a regional qualifier. It might, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think at this stage, at this high of a skill level, what would the United States deserve, period? I do not know. But, you know, I say that's what I'm going to tell people. You know, if you're really that good for KOF 13 or whatever, you have to go prove it in Mexico. I mean, that's it. If you are the cream of the crop, are going to be the only ones going, participating. That's it. Just like SBO has its elite status, elite only. Well, that's what the final is going to be. Elite status. The elite of the elite. The cream of the crop. That's what it's going to be. Invite only. The only people that are regional champions will be the ones that show up. That's how that's going to go. So you're going to have to win your region for these first times. All right. And it says in the regions where there are a lot of players like China, Korea, Japan, South America, Central America, there can be 2 or 3 cities as countries hosting the qualifications. The final round for the qualification will take place at a later date. This is something I'm going to look into, you know, because we can have, you know, a couple cities or countries, depending, you know, for places that are really big. So I might end up spreading up the regions. And if I spread up the regions, you know, I don't know how we're going to do that. But, you know, we'll spread up the regions, and we'll have, like, Region A and Region B of Region 5A or Region 5B. And, you know, we'll have where there's more qualifiers, but there's still going to only be one person coming out of that region. So I might turn it into the Super Region 5. And then, you know, have in the Super Region 5, Region A, Region B, Region, you know, C. And, you know, the Super Region champion for Super Region 5 is going to be the one that's going to go to the final. So that's something I'll look into if we need to make sure, you know, more people have an opportunity to go play for these qualifiers. And, you know, that's a good point. And, you know, that's something I'm going to add into my list, my thing. I haven't added it now, but I'm going to look at doing that. I like that idea. But let's continue to move on. Infrastructure, part 2. He says, online plus representatives of each region. A form for announcements and a sub-form for each region. This will be one of the main means of communication, establishing connections with the players and other communities, exchanging ideas, and working on developing the KOF World Cup. Which, you know, I agree with that. You know, we're just, I'm wondering if, see, the issue with another region why I let the other form go was because most of my particular, most of my clientele for KOF comes from countries that do not speak English. So for me, English, in other words, as you see, as I told you guys, these countries that are based in in places where KOF is mainstream, that's why they're doing very well for the most part. They're doing very, very well on that because KOF is a mainstream there. So, you know, like Cyberpanax and stuff, whatever, that's why it's mainstream. It's in Spanish, and that's where everything's going down because that is where KOF is mainstream there. But if you put an English form going on in most of these places where people speak English, KOF is not mainstream. So it's going to have a hard time sustaining. So, you know, the form is down for now. But when it comes back, if it comes back, it'll be reinvented. And it will be centered around that. So that is something you're looking for. It will be centered specifically around what he's talking about. That's what it will be. Because otherwise, having an English form, for the most part, if it's not carried around KOF 13 or anything like that, it's pointless for the most part. Because in most places that speak English, KOF is not a mainstream. So there you go. I mean, that's how it is, guys. Let's move on. Preparation. He said it's very important to get real feedback, not just words and promises. As soon as the plan for the World KOF Cup is done, the regions have to demonstrate that they take it seriously. A year before qualifications, each country says citizens region interested And this must have host as many ranking battles as tournaments as possible, offline, videos and streams, and reports must be provided. If a region fails to organize such events, they will be disqualified for that region of the World KOF Cup. These reports and events are very important because it can give an approximate number of persons attending qualifications for the World KOF Cup, and these events should be advertised as the World Road to the World KOF Cup or promoted in that region. They provide training grounds for players in that region. Very good. I mean, this is very good. I mean, this is a way to manage it and make sure people take it seriously. I mean, people can, say all they want about what they want, me to do and all this. Like I said, I hear it from all these different people, but I have to see progress. I got to see hunger. People that really want it, and that's how that works. So I agree with what he said about that as well. And then he says budget, which is another thing that's very, very important. The most, he talks about the most certain means is funding, and he says we could have sponsors, and everything must be centralized. The advertisement is centralized, and it has to be seen as a serious event with a large audience. So plans for finding sponsors or selling ads on forums and streams. The finals for a stream must be made, and those are just some things he says, or other money, other ways to generate income, and stuff like that. Which I like. I mean, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, the charge for this, the qualifications is going to be, it's going to be a pretty steep price for registration. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be minimum $30 to $40 for the qualifiers. And that's just, like I say, there are a lot of costs going with this. So this is going to make sure this is going to be taken care of by charging $30 to $40 just to enter the qualifiers. And that's how it's going to be, because it's going to have to make sure this thing, once again, pays for itself or its help. Because if not, it can get pretty expensive. We're talking 5 figures minimum, looks like, for this type of thing. $50,000, $60,000 maybe, what you're talking about. So yeah, I'm going to make it pay for itself. So yes, it would have to be high. And that's how you have to understand that. Now he's talking about games and mode for play. Talking about team tournament, like Denzel's talking about. 3v3 tournament for each game, and 15 to 20 things. But he says there should be 48 players in the 3 KOF games, which he has 3 for KOF games. 2002. I'm going to tell you right now, KOF 2002 must be in it. King of Fighters 2002 is the most played fighting game in the world. 2002 must be in it, guys. I'm sorry, but King of Fighters 2002 has to be one of the games in there. And again, it's going to come down to he says 12 players. Well, it's the regional champions, is what he says, So that's what it's going to come down to. Whatever the regional champions I decide for that game, that's what the tournament's going to be between. Yeah, I mean, they're all going to be playing first to 5. And he said 2002 UM, got to have that. Same for the scenario for the singles. KOF 13, those are 3 games. Now, I'm going to probably add 2 to 3 more games, maybe. And those 2 games, besides, are going to be 98 Final Edition and KOF 11. Those are the only 2 games I think we need to add extra. And that's what it's going to be. But still take only the super regional champions. Now, with this being said, guys, here's a lot of stuff he said. And, I'm going to show you all my document reflecting that. And this is, like I said, as y'all can see, everything has changed. It says qualifier spots given, regional champions only per game. 2002 will be 5. So it'll be 5 regional champions given for that. And for KOF 13, 5, KOF 11, 5, 2002 UM, 5, 98 UM, 98 Final Edition, 5, 13, 5. Well, I have 13 on there twice. Why am I doing this? Okay. So if we're talking 5 games, and, we're having 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 people. We might increase it because we want to have more. But, again, the bottom line is I take quality over quantity for these first ones, especially when we're talking about cost. Quality over quantity. So, we might take, top 2 for each game. And, do that. So, and everything else is, it's going to stay the same for the Region 1 qualifiers, etc. So, guys, what do you think about all this? I need your input. And I will talk to y'all later. Thanks. Bye.